What's going on, my guy? We are in week 37. 37 weeks in. Only 15 more remaining. That feels so dope to say, to know that, again, for 37 weeks, at least once a week, it's supposed to be on Wednesdays. It ain't always Wednesday, but I stuck with something for 37 weeks, and I don't see me not making it to a full year. Now, everything else we're supposed to be doing, we slacked on, but whatever. 37 weeks later, and still going. And it's been a dope experience. Like I say, it's cool to look back at each week, but like I said, it'd be even doper when 2026 get here. I live to see it, everything goes planned, and I keep this going, and I can look back, and every time I look back, I can see a year ago I was here. Then a year, 2 years, it'll be dope. I like the thought of that. The word of the day is perpetuity. And so that is something that goes on forever or for a very long time. So do that information what you will. As far as the rucking, spinning, and everything go, I didn't get 4 spins in. I want to say I got 2 or 3. I did get 2 rucks. As far as I remember, I got 2 rucks in or whatever. So I'm actually rucking now to start week 38. So that's been cool. Like I said, still not 100% all the way disciplined like I need to be. Not lifting every day. I know I did the last couple of days, just going down and getting that set in. But I need to find some enthusiasm about it. Like, no, not I have to do this. I get to do this. And each rep, each set is going to add up to me being who I want to be and how I want to be. So, like I said, we're working on it. Have noticed minor weight changes, and I haven't been eating the greatest. So, like I say, the plan is to go to the store this weekend, and I know for me, I'm gonna do some heavy juicing coming up. I know primarily green juice. May have some watermelon as well, but just making sure that I'm intaking primarily juice and whole foods. And, you have a cheat day here and there, but I want to really grind it. Like I say, get to the body, as close to the body as I can get in a little less than 30 days for my birthday. So, there's that. Work-wise, like I say, they've been coming with it. Some of these days, I'll be like, all right, we got, some hours worth of work to do. And I'm doing my best to get them back to them as quick as possible. I know that this week, I was moving too fast one time. It wasn't nothing crazy, but it happened, well, actually twice in the last week. Once me and my supervisor were working on ordering what's called welcome kits for the advisors, so they can get their stuff delivered, their new cars and all that, like welcome kit as it says. And so I ordered it. I can't remember off the top of my head what needed to be changed about this one, but something needed to be changed. And I went back through and I submitted it as is. After my manager said, hey, before you submit it, make sure you let me see so we can fix whatever need to be fixed. I said, oh, okay, I got you. And then I hit submit in a minute. The second I hit it, I submitted it the same way. They said, oh my, come on. I'm like, yeah, my bad. So I had that happen. And then the other one was the person asked for me to enroll the client in some classes. Like just new training classes that you do when you go to a new job and you got to take the training. It's like that. So they said that, and those are called new hire kits, new hire trainings, or learning centers. That's what it's called, new hire learning centers. So they asked, hey, can you enroll this person in the new hire learning center? And I was like, yeah, I got you. I saw a new hire and just thought new hire welcome kits. So I went and did the welcome kits. Then they came back like, hey, that wasn't welcome kits, that was learning centers for this one. I was like, oh, my bad. And they were cool about it. They were like, yeah, nah, I could have communicated it better. And I was like, nah, that ain't on you at all. It's clear as day. You wrote it. I just was moving too fast and overlooked it. So it wasn't no issue. But again, I pride myself on doing things as right as possible with things that matter to me, and work does, want to leave a right impression. So just got to slow down and make sure I'm not, because he got it back in minutes. I be my turnaround be boom, here you go. And they'll be like, oh, just get it done whenever you can. No, not even 5 minutes later. Okay, I got that list done, here you go. So, we're doing what we can. So that's been work. Like I say, kind of busy. I'm making the meetings. Everything's going smooth. And then other than that, it's the business. The business is businessing. Picking back up, it had, I had said it had been a little slower. So I know that actually yesterday, was it yesterday? Yep, yesterday evening after work. So I had talked to this one lady. So I had two. I forgot about that. See, this is why I got to start back writing my stuff down and better prepping before recording these. So I had one from last week. The man had reached out, and like I said, he sent me a picture of what he had, and I'm like, hey, I see wires and stuff that look electrical. I'm not an electrician. You might want to get one of them to do that. And he was like, no, it's for a tennis machine. If you could just check it out. So I was like, okay, this is I can't remember what Miss Maria told me to call it. A retainer fee. It's not a deposit. You get a deposit back. Retainer fee is like, I keep this regardless of what happened. So I was like, my retainer or service fee to come out is this much. Is that okay? He was like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, now, if I can fix it, then it'll just be factored into the price. If I can't, I keep the retainer. He's like, okay, that's cool. So I get there and I'm looking at it. And again, it's electrical. Like, he has everything there. And from what I gathered, and he said he had two other people look at it. And what one of the other guys gathered is like the little mini motor. So it's like tennis ball machine where they shoot the balls out to the player so they can hit them or whatever and test different speeds. And he was like, up until like 3 weeks ago, it stopped working. So he reached out to the company. They sent them a replacement part, but the replacement part that they sent isn't what's wrong. Like, it's a arm L-shaped type little piece of metal that they sent. And I'm like, okay, the new metal works just like the old metal did. There's nothing wrong with the metal. There's supposed to be a mechanism, this little motor that's supposed to make the balls drop down to shoot. That's where your issue is. It don't matter if it's a new one or old one if the motor isn't making it work. So I told him that, and he was like, well, if I ordered, do you think you can fix it? And I was like, again, I'll give it a try. I don't want to make any promises because it looks electrical, and I'm not an electrician, but if you want to go for it, we can. So he said he's going to do that. So I did that, went and did a diagnostic, looked everything over that day. And then, what was the other one? I talked about the power tie, that was last week. So I had that one. And then, yesterday after work. So that's what it was. I had spoke to a lady last week. Both of these people for last week. Spoke to a lady last week. She was telling me that she wanted, I think it was a bookcase? A bookcase dress or something simple. It take me like 2 hours or so. And I was like, all right, gotcha. But she was out of town this weekend, so she couldn't get it done this weekend. That's what it was. So she was like, when I get back, you think we can? I'm like, definitely, for sure. And then, so this week come, and she reached out, and she's like, hey, I'm still out of town, I think on Monday, but I have a neighbor that'll be reaching out. They want something put together, too. And I was like, all right, just, shoot her my number. So, reach out, me and the neighbor talking on Monday, and I'm like, what you got? What's going on? And they like, I have a wall unit that's like decorative for the TV to go on. So it's like a mount. You put the thing on the wall, and then the TV goes on it. So I'm like, okay, I look it up. I was like, again, if it got instructions, I know I can put it together. I ain't worried about that. So I get over there. I put it together. It take me a little minute. I thought we did hourly rate because this is service. This isn't like a one set thing. I don't have a set price for this because it ain't something I normally do. So I get there, I put it together. Tell me why. I'm supposed to be drilling this and the TV, into each other on the wall. I bought my drill and my impact driver. I brought no battery for either one of those. So I couldn't use any of my power tools. So that's fun. So luckily the way it worked we had planned for the amount of time that it took, and with me hand tightening everything, it ran right up until the time that we had originally planned for anyway. And I was like, yep, I can come back Thursday after work and I can mount it. So that worked out. She was satisfied. So I got to go there tomorrow when I get off to mount the wall unit, then mount the TV, get that done, be on my ways. So that was that. We're getting ready for my oldest birthday. Looking forward to that. Yeah, so like I said, that was it with the jobs. Got to go back there tomorrow. Oh yeah, and so earlier today, I had a person reach out and I was like, name looks familiar, but I was doing something, so not necessarily paying the most of attention to it. And I'm like, okay. They reach out and they're like, hey, now that I think about it, that just cost me some money I shouldn't have had to pay. Because she had my number. Wait, did she? No. I ain't even have my cards then, I don't think. Like, I was fresh in the game just getting started. So, no, I didn't have my card. So, she don't have my work number. She had my personal number. But you could have reached out to me as opposed to looking for me on Thumbtack. That don't make sense. Now I got to pay for this lead when we could have just, communicated face to face, eye to eye. We had to do all that. But it was the couple that was like an hour and a half or two away that I put together a chicken coop and a catio for. So she called back and was like, hey, we've had an entertainment stand in a fireplace that we've needed assembled for a while, but haven't had, we couldn't find anybody to do it. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't mind coming. So I already got that planned for Sunday, which is kind of like, because I didn't know for sure how everything was gonna go, but I need this money. You heard me set it off. I need it. So I go down Saturday to Georgia for my oldest birthday, and we'll come back home before it get too late, so I can get up and get on the road and go knock that out. So that was that. And what we got? Oh, I went to South Carolina. One of my close friends from college graduated with their masters, so that was dope to be a part of, experience and see. And it was in another state. I don't think it was trash. It was the parking. Like, there was no parking. I actually had to drive a mile away. I ain't gonna say there wasn't parking, but that line and wait, I was too panicked. So in my head, I'm like, oh man, it's looking like at least 30, 45 minutes before you can even get into the parking deck. And I was there. Now I left early. I left early, hit a little bit of traffic, and so I was there like literally 10 minutes before it was supposed to start. But the way it was moving, I'm like, man, if I do it this way, it's gonna take 30 or 40 minutes just to get parked. And so I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'll find somewhere. So the city, as you can see, the city I live in, you can park on the roads at certain times or whatever, or pay to park, cool, whatever. So I saw it was like a few businesses around there, and they were renting out their parking lot or whatever. I think I saw like $10, which was cool with me. I was like, all right, I'll pay that, so I could just go ahead and get here. It was right there. It was walking distance. Right when I pull up, the guy waves me off and like, yeah, we're not taking anybody. I'm like, okay. I go by, circle back around. Not even 45 seconds later, he letting somebody in. So I'm like, was it something special about me that couldn't park in your parking lot? But whatever, I ain't got time to be bothered by that. So I just parked at the gas station, ordered a lift. It was like $6 or whatever. So actually, it worked out. I paid less than I would have paid had I parked in the parking deck by a few dollars, but whatever. So we got parked, saw them graduate. That was a good time. And other than that, man, life done been kind of smooth. Like I say, I'm handling my business with work. I can definitely, like I say, it's dope to see those referrals come through and people from months ago where it's like, I gotta remember, and everything seemed like it was yesterday, but like I say, we are just short of, we 6 months now, 6.5, but closer to 7 and 6 once October gets here. So I've been doing this thing officially for 7 months, and I gotta count again because I know I'm over 90 jobs now. So I don't know, it'll be special. I think And I did edit one. Editing is not my thing. I don't have the patience. I don't even be keeping up with posting these. I record them all the time, but the fact that I gotta boop, 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 type up whatever the little caption that I do, which I don't have to do, but I choose to do. But since I choose to do it, it slows me down with uploading them when I need to. So I'm going to prioritize that. And today is Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday. Depending on how work goes tomorrow, I'll sit down and do all the things I've been putting off, like messaging back my roommate from college. Our stuff be pages long of text, so it'd be like, boy, I gotta sit down, give me something cool to drink, and just get this my undivided attention, which it shouldn't be that bad, and I always feel awful about it, but certain long messages, it'd be like, I'll get back to that one later, and I'm going to start responding right then, because there's no excuse. This phone in my hand, I be playing Monopoly, shooting pool, Candy Crush, all kind of games and stuff, but something fruitful that's connecting me to another person, I'm not utilizing. That's not cool. So I'm gonna get better about that. And what else? So we talked about the graduation. It's been kind of it, man. It's been, like I said, pretty chill for the most part. I don't have no complaints. Life treating me kind of alright right now. Yeah. Oh, I went to it was the class. It was for my high school, but it was specifically like for the class that's 20 years. So 05, which all right, you the first, whatever. They were the first, and then so I went to that, but there was a bunch of people that I knew, cause I mean, even if it's when I graduated, I doubt it'd be a bunch of people like that I talk to, cause I mean the people I talked to, if they would have went, I knew they was going. But it was like some people that I was cool with then, that it wouldn't be bad to catch up with. Like, I ain't seen this person in a few years, and that was my dog or whatever. Even though we don't see each other, I still rock with them a little bit. So, like I said, that'd be cool to see some of them if everything goes well in the next 2 years and our time comes. So, working on that, man. Like I said, went to that. I had a really good time skating. Like, I could see myself, especially with me not knowing as many people. I spoke to the few that I did know. Then I got skates and started skating. And was really just lost in it. Cause I ain't on no road bounce. I can skate all dancing and doing cool. No. I can glide a little bit, lift up a foot or something like that. Look like I'm doing something, but it's levels to it. And when you get somebody in there that's doing the worm with their legs, doing like crazy legs or whatever, and crossing their feet and spinning around and all that, I can't skate at all compared to you all. You got that. But just to go and have fun and do something different, switch it up from the same things that I do. I'm always down to add a new hobby, so I'm going to start checking that out or whatever. And like I said, I might look into some of those line dancing or whatever. Those look kind of cool to check out every so often. I know poetry is big around this time. Well, poetry is big regardless, but I definitely want to go to the National Black Poetry Night Out next month. So we'll see about that. But it's a poet who I'm connected to on social media that advertises for I guess we call them poetry slams, or they have little open mic nights weekly or bi-weekly at least. So I'm gonna go check out one of those in the next week or so as well. And the comedy show, just getting out more. Not trying to spend no money like that, but just doing something different and getting different experiences or whatever. Because I always say that people say there's nothing to do in this city or in cities in general if it's not one of the super large markets. But the crazy part of that to me is most of the time they're talking about the club scene. It's not that there ain't nothing to do here. It's not clubs like you like in those big cities. And there are clubs here that, but if you're going, which again, it don't make sense. The clubs here, and I'm not a clubber, so I'm speaking from no experience. I ain't gone to club in Miami or New York and other places, LA, where they be like, oh, the club scene wild, whatever, or Atlanta. But still, I mean, some of the people, if you go to the same club every week, you're gonna get tired of it. There's not enough clubs here. There's more than one. You just go to the same one and then complain. That just gets me. Like I said about, people that say that this city is small. you say that, but I promise you I can take you in pockets of this city, and you've been here your whole 30-something years of life that you've never seen. Because I wasn't saying the city was small. I never said that or whatever. But I found pockets where it's like, no, this isn't a new development. These houses are old, and they've been here since before I was alive. This whole area in this city, yet I've never seen it. But it's small. So, whatever. I'm going to get out and have some more fun and try some different stuff or whatever. Expand my leisure palette, if you will. But that's it, man. Like I say, I'm feeling good. Noticing where the places that I'm slacking, and actively working on it. Nothing like the house getting back crazy, or, like I say, me being super lazy with work or nothing like that. Just making sure that I'm giving the attention that I want to give to the boys and for the boys, and to and for myself. Because you can't pour from an empty cup. So making sure I'm straight as well, but making sure they're good and their needs as well as some wants, not all, but some of their wants taken care of. I know my oldest said he wanted an electrical bike for his birthday, and I looked him up. Don't think who getting that? I ain't seen one for under $1,000, and I ain't got $1,000 to spend on a bike for myself. Because if I did, I'd be trying to get a little cheap piece of motorcycle to throw in the garage until it's time to pop out. You know what I'm saying? And do a little bit of work, tinker here, tinker there, and hop out on the wheelie going down the highway. Nah, not really, but that's what I would be doing. So, $1,000 on the bike, son, I love you, huh? Now, I ain't gonna say I don't love you that much. I don't love you that much right now. So, I don't know. I only got a few days to figure out what to get them. Typically, I'm not a gift giver. I just give money or gift cards. Because I'd rather give a person the means to get what they want than I get them something that I think they like. And it's like, bro, what is this? Or, yeah, I talked about that, but no, I'm not into that like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had that happen. I'm appreciative. But even in my head, it'd be like, they could have sent me a gift card, a Visa, even a restaurant, just somewhere I can go eat. Because it'll be, and I keep gifts. I have gifts that I've needed to get rid of for not 2 decades. No, I got some stuff from high school, 2 decades ago.
Total distance 1 mile. Total time 25 minutes and 51 seconds. Split pace 25 minutes 51 seconds per mile.
Some of that comes from drama. She was somebody that held on to stuff. Definitely not a hoarder, but someone that would hang on to stuff. And it's like, yo, you only see this when we move, or when you move rather. That's the only time you see this. That means you're not touching it. That 1, 2, 3, 5 years in between, you don't need this. Let it go as trash. And so, like I said, working on that myself. Now, I haven't built up to getting started with it yet. Like I say, some stuff out of my room I got rid of. It's the closet in the garage. Like I say, I got to sit down one day. Okay, so, like I said, definitely not this weekend, because this weekend is busy. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But, like, if there's nothing going on that first weekend in October, you know what? Like I say, if I don't go but 10 minutes at a time or whatever, 10, 20 minutes each day, just boom. All right, I'm going to get something. I'm finna go work for 10 or 20 minutes, and whatever I get, that's what I get. And just get worked on it that way. That's what I do. So, we'll see. But it's been, like I said, a really good week in every way. I really can't think of a way that the week was bad. So, that's been cool. I was gonna say I was doing better with the screen time, but then I really, like I said, now even today, don't get me wrong, I gotta find a way to make that seat not hurt, because that thing make my behind burn, and I don't need that in my life. I don't deserve it. You know what I'm saying? So no, I know that like cyclists wear like padded shorts, and they say that helps, but I'm like, I be sitting on 2 pillows, not as small pillows, but I'm like, this pillow has more cushion than a pad that I would be sitting on, or just directly in the shorts that I'm wearing. So that math don't math to me. But again, I guess I'll have to try it at least to see if it helps, because them pillows ain't working. And like I said, maybe I can get a firm one, or maybe I can get a different bike seat. I don't know, but I'm gonna have to get something, because I want to keep spinning. I like spinning. I know how much it does for me and did for me. Just even with me starting back and really getting back going consistent now, whatever. Again, I'm sweating. I'm noticing the weight loss or whatever. The scale is actually moving. And I'm not a person that judges weight loss directly by the scale now. If it's working, then it's working. I'm not an idiot like, oh, don't pay attention. No. If you're dropping pounds but your body composition ain't changing. You're still making progress. And if the numbers aren't changing, but I see that my belly ain't bellying no more, and chest sitting up, shoulders drawn back squared, waist is kind of tapered, I'm not gonna care if that number going up, because I'm doing something right. You know what I mean? So just trying to figure it all out and stay consistent, get back consistent and stay consistent. We're at the last quarter. I checked in at every turn. Start of the year, a quarter into the year, end of June, the halfway mark, and now here we are, end of September, about to go into the last 3 months, the last quarter of 2025, and it's about to be over. So, like I say, totally happy? No, because I wasn't anywhere near consistent, but I acknowledge, which I didn't at the start of the year. It hadn't even been a month, when I decided to start doing these, to say or even process where I was at mentally and emotionally, considering, being laid off and increasing my lifestyle. It wasn't no creep, it was a jump, but it was a planned jump based on what I was making. And once I wasn't making that, it was spooky times, man. It was like really worried, you know what I mean? So to make it out of that and come out on the other side has been nice, but while I was making these grand plans and, just, hey, 1/1, January 1st, so it's, we're going to make these grand changes or whatever and get it all together. You just had a grand change in the negative. So we can't bank on, just assume life finna be peachy just because the date changed or the year changed. Nah, we had to get our foundation back together, and so with, getting the business going, that gave me foundation. Even if I'm not, quote unquote, working on somebody's clock, I can get to it the way I need to get to it and just use Uber and Lyft as a supplement versus just driving every day, which I know some people get to it. I don't know, maybe they do something different, or they get bonuses that I don't get because they're higher tier. But it ain't been hitting for me like it used to hit in 22, and I even say 23. From 2019 to 2022, for sure, it was much better. After that, boy, spooky times. So, to just be banking on that versus, like I say, now, I know, especially if I'm pushing and reaching out to people, I can make enough money to not even think about going back to work, because the money will come. I be getting to it doing this, and I'm good at what I do and learning other skills to expand. So, we're going to figure this thing out, man. But, yep, last 3 months. So I'm not accepting no excuses, no failure at all. Failure is not an option. FINAO. Shout out Miss Crocker from my high school English class. Failure is not an option. She wrote that on a piece of paper, and it really stuck with me or whatever. She was like, you have great potential, but you BS. She's one of the few people to say that. You BS and you talk yourself out of the things that will help you or whatever. You rationalize your own BS. And I've been saying that my whole adult life because I rationalize my own BS. She was right, you know what I mean? But yeah, failure not an option, man. So I don't care what's going on, what happened. Barring me being sick, hurt, or something, crazy going on that literally stops me, we are going to 4 times a week spin, twice a week ruck, or get a walking pad because it's about to start getting cold. And I ain't going outside if it's cold. I don't care. I'm not that person. And like I say, I'm going to say at least 5 times a week. At least 5 times a week get set in. I ain't even finna say a full workout because I want to, something that, goal should be attainable. And not that it isn't attainable, but I know I can get in my head about it or whatever. So like I say, that's why I'm utilizing just going and doing 1 set, 10 reps. If I can do that, like I say, hopefully it'll inspire me I'm already in here. Let me go ahead and get a little more, So no excuses. At least, 5 sets. And then whatever come behind them sets, I don't care. But I'm going to document this stuff. I'm supposed to be doing it anyway. I mean, with the working and the spending, I do. But I'll keep on the calendar if I worked out or whatever. I guess on my phone, since I have it with me, before I make these or when I make these. So that's it, my man. That's this week wrap up. Be kind to yourself. Remember, all of our goals we are working on will come overnights, plural with an S, not overnight, because we ain't mess it up in the night. I love you. Be kind to yourself. I'll holler at you later. All right, my boy.